Hi there, welcome back. Today I will be doing another doll customization for you. The plan for this video is to turn a G1 Abominable into, drumroll please, the Queen of Space. Here is the doll we have today, and as you can tell, she is in really rough shape. A fun fact for you, this was originally the first doll I ever customized, and since I was still learning, I gave her the blandest design you have ever seen. Yeah, so this time I want to try and actually do her some justice by playing into the blue skin, and I just really love space, so hence the plan. However, it wasn't until I started stripping this doll back to her base that I remembered exactly how much of a scrapper she had been to start with. She was a thrift find. I basically bought the cheapest Monster High doll that I could find secondhand, so, I mean, it was to be expected, but that means I now have some issues to contend with. The head in particular has split open along the part lines, as a lot of the G1 dolls eventually did, and although last time there was just enough vinyl hanging in there for me to just kind of ignore that and root through anyway, this time, not so much. Which means we'll have to glue her head back together, and that in turn means making a wig. I usually prefer to reroot, but I have had to make wigs before, so that's okay with me. The other problem is the staining. I cannot seem to get this off at all. I've tried several different methods. However, I have been able to factor this in okay too, because this is the concept art for her face. Apologies again for it being super unpolished looking, but hopefully you can still see the general ideas. I've given her these slightly spooky eyes with dark scleras and an iris that's meant to look kind of like a planet with a ring and everything. And I'm hoping that using this super dark base will mean that the eye staining won't matter too much. Same goes for her lips, as you can see. I'll probably wind up having to use more acrylic paint than I usually do, but that's okay. We work with what we got on this channel. She is already pre-sprayed with my first coat of MSC, so I can get right into the face-up, right after I glue her head back together. Now that her face is finished, we have the matter of the hair. So my plans for the hair is for it to be mostly black, but with hints of purple and some fuchsia to create an overall kind of galaxy look. To be honest, my concept art for that is extremely vague, but I have some Pinterest inspo that I can show you. So I shall just have to do my best to recreate that in some kind of way. What I pretty much always use for my doll customs is yarn hair. This is mainly because I find it a whole lot easier to style than other types of hair, and because I know that I can use some heat tools on it. To make my hair, I take my yarn. I am actually allergic to the lanolin in natural wool, so I always use acrylic yarn, but I am unsure what other types are suitable because this is all I've ever used. Then I just take something that is a decent sort of length that we want our hair to be. We will definitely lose some of this length when we brush it out, but I'll get to that in a minute. We just wrap it around our object quite a few times and then cut the excess and then cut there so that you're going to have multiple strands of the same length. Then I just tie a knot in the center, pull taut, and now we need to unravel the individual pieces of yarn. So I just take my individual yarn pieces, twist them, or untwist them I should say, and then separate them into 3 individual pieces. Now that I have all my strands separated out, I'm going to go in with a brush and comb them out. I always start from the bottom. When you're brushing, you're going to get lots of this fluff left behind. I always make sure to keep that because I can usually use it as stuffing for other projects. Now that I have these funny little fluff balls, I can go in with a hair straightener and smooth them down. I find it best to do this quite nice and slowly with some decent tension on the hair. And now we have this silky smooth, shiny hair. Here are all the other wefts that I prepared ahead of time for this doll. I am probably going to end up needing more than this. However, for now, I'm just going to attach them and see how I go. So first of all, I'll just make a wig cap for our doll head. So now that that is all hardened and dried, I am going to start hot gluing my hair on top of it. The last thing, of course, is going to be the outfit. Don't mind this, by the way, there was an incident with some fabric scissors. I decided to go relatively simple with the outfit, at least compared to Claudette anyway. So we just have this fitted midnight blue gown with a plunging kind of neckline and some other purple details to add interest. And then I want to basically just embellish it with lots of sparkles and sequins and gems and whatnot to kind of hint at stars. I have been collecting any bits and pieces from around the house and my crafting hoard, and I've managed to find plenty, so here we go. So her dress is done, and I'll be honest, the sleeves I had planned in the concept art were the reason this video was so delayed. Sewing for the tiny G1 Monster High bodies is really not my favourite, so I had to simplify the sleeves down, and possibly because of that, I decided that she was still missing something. So I don't have any concept art for this, but I had an idea for this little sort of planet headdress, and I didn't film myself making this because Quite honestly, I had no idea if it would actually work, but I just used some spare wire and repurposed a tiny little Christmas decoration, and I made this little crown thing, because she is the Queen of Space after all, and hopefully it should look like a kind of suspended planet. I have no idea how well that's going to actually translate, so let me know if it does in the comments down below. Finally, we just have these shoes. I made them by cutting down a pair of Headmistress Bloodgood's boots, which were too long for her and a little bit stretched out. So I just cut them down and added this galaxy paint job with some acrylic paint and Mod Podge. And with that, she is finally done. Allow me to introduce Celestine, the Queen of Space. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would very much appreciate a like and maybe even a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!